Summer Ghost recently released on digital and I believe Blu-ray at the same time. This is a new film from Gkids. That is the anime people, people that release anime. I don't know. They do like the Ghibli Fest. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do that. Ride Your Wave. They do a lot of stuff. They're like the quality, like they release quality stuff. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so they released this. I want to say it went into theaters over the summer, but we didn't get a chance to watch it. And I think it had other stuff with it in theaters, like the miniseries or something.
Probably.
Yeah. So that being said, it finally came out. Mm-hmm. Maggie, what did you think of Summer Ghost?
I really enjoyed it. I think I don't know. I'm trying to think where I'm going with this. I would recommend it to somebody to watch it.
Yeah. I think it is well, first off, it's 40 minutes long, so it's very short. But honestly, I feel like that's to its not betterment, because I feel like you could have had this story and you could have told it over an hour and a half, and I think it still would have worked perfect. But I feel like because it's so short that they really it moves so quick that it doesn't give you time to realize that you don't necessarily get as much character knowledge. I think is the only place that was lacking. Like there's 3 main characters, and I feel like one we get to know really good. Yes. And then the other 2 I feel like we kind of know, but it's really just like 2 little scenes for each of them, and then that's it. Yeah. And so the whole thing is that there's this legend that if you go to this old
airfield,
old airfield and a lot of firework, that
a ghost will appear.
The Summer Ghost. And so these 3 meet up somehow. He said they sent out an email. They go to different schools. Yeah. So I don't really know how they met up. Maybe on a message board or something. And they go out and they light a firework and they summon the Summer Ghost. And she's like a teenage kind of, yeah. And she's not like your atypical ghost. Like she's very, like, you know, I mean,
she talks just like them.
Yeah. She's just like a normal kid, but she's a ghost. Yeah. And then what happens from there? Well, okay, I don't think this is a spoiler. I'll say this, because it's in the trailer, that the Summer Ghost will only appear to those who have contemplated death. Mm-hmm. And so that kind of opens the story up to the reason these 3 characters can see it is because they've all, for one reason or another, have been contemplating death, whether that is forced death or sadness or whatever. Like and I'm not going to get into too much more detail because I don't want to give story points away. Yeah. But I will say that I thought that that's kind of where we were sticking. Mm-hmm. But then, like, the story takes kind of in the midpoint, we find out that there's more to the ghost, which takes the story in a completely different direction. Yeah. That I feel is great. Like, I kind of loved it. I was like, oh man, this has a lot more to it than this. Yeah. And then by the end of it, it was great. Like it was moving. It was wonderful. Made me feel happy. At some points I was afraid that it could kind of romanticize death a little bit. But I feel like they kind of, the way it ends, like the message that you get by the end of it, I think they kind of keep that from being the takeaway. Yeah. But it's beautiful. Like the art in it. Oh my gosh. Like just the way it's drawn and the coloring of it. Yeah, it's 40 minutes long. Like I said, I think we got it on iTunes. We went ahead and bought it. It was, I think, $12.99. And I'm glad. If I'd known it was 40 minutes before buying it,
probably wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, I would have been like, I'll just wait and watch it sometime because it's 40 minutes. But I'm glad we bought it. It's really good. Yeah. Like I would say, honestly, like, you know, Your Name is my number 1, of course. But I would say I like this maybe more than Ride Your Wave. I love Ride Your Wave, but I really, really enjoyed this. So I mentioned this in the spoiler section, but if you skipped that, I just wanted to reiterate it here that it reminded me of Mike Flanagan. So if you like Mike Flanagan, just the way that they handle the Summer Ghost, I feel like it's very Flanagan-esque. Anything else you want to say about it?
No.
Do we have any spoilers we want to talk about?
Not really.
Well, we could go into a little bit of spoilers, just to make sure that we got something. So we are going into spoilers. If you don't want to know anything else, click past this. Wrong button. Spoilers. I can't believe how many times I've done that. So I can't believe she was dead the whole time. Actually, I can't believe he was dead the whole time. Holy fuck, that ending, right? Yeah. When we find out the one that was dying had actually died. God. And like they were seeing him as the new summer ghost. He
even told them early on that he wasn't going to even make it to see the sakura, which is the cherry blossoms.
Yeah.
And he did make it. Because it shows him laying in the hospital bed. And like
and I didn't put it together.
No, I did, because the whole thing was if the sparkler wasn't going up, like burning, that meant the ghost was there. And I noticed it's like the sparkler's isn't burning as quick.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, he's a ghost.
Yeah. Damn. And, God, that was so good.
Yeah.
What a good ending.
Yeah.
I love the murder mystery stuff. Obviously, we alluded to it a little bit in the non-spoilers, but like I thought it was moving that like she was just a normal girl needing help. It was sad.
Yeah, it was.
Like it was very sad.
Yeah.
And like how that whole thing happened, and like then they found her body and stuff. Sorry, you was gonna say something.
Just how she described, how her and her mom had a fight, but she said it was over something very mediocre. She said it was very little, and she said, and I ran out and got hit by a car, and that person that hit her decided to put her in a suitcase. Freaking and it's so sad.
You know what it reminded me of? And I wish I would have said this in the main review. It reminded me of Mike Flanagan. The way that they handled her as a ghost.
Yeah.
Like it reminded me of the Midnight Club. And then it also reminded me of the ending. Well, it reminded me, I won't spoil it, another show that Mike Flanagan did where a female character dies.
Yeah.
And gives a long speech about death while she's dying. Like it reminded me of that. And, that's one of my favorite scenes in that whole series, which, again, I'm not going to say because I don't want to spoil it. But so the fact that it reminded me of that, like that speaks to how much I loved this movie.
Yeah.
So, from out of nowhere, like we just thought it looked pretty and like the trailer sounded cool. And, that's usually the type of stuff I go for, which is quasi slice of life with just a hint of like supernatural sci-fi stuff. I don't like it to be, overwhelming unless it's like Chainsaw Head or whatever.
Chainsaw Man.
But like, I love when it's mainly about these characters, but then there's just a little piece of something that kind of move the story. That's really all I've got to say about it.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
No.
All right, done.